Don't stress, live life one day at a time. Don't drink or drug and you'll be fine. When life gets rough and you're feeling stuck, don't drink or use no matter what. Think about your serenity. Be grateful for your sobriety. Staying sober with Papa Joey. We're staying sober with Papa Joey. We're staying sober with Papa Joey. It's all about your sobriety.
Welcome back. Today, I want to focus on the ABCs of sobriety one more time. However, before we go any further, I want to say thank you to a few of the people that had reached out to me via email. I appreciate the kind words, and of course, if there's anything you want to discuss with me that you don't want to put in the comments, and I don't blame people for not putting anything in a personal nature in comments, because nowadays with social media, everybody likes to troll around and get dirt on other people. And personally, years ago, when the internet started, I rarely talked about the fact that, I abused alcohol for years. I just didn't trust anybody. Nowadays, more and more people are, putting their personal life out in public, but you got to be careful, especially if it deals with somebody abuses alcohol or drugs, because you never know who will come across one of your posts and use it against you later on down the road. If you're looking for a job, or maybe you're thinking about getting in a relationship with somebody and they start doing a little research on you, and even though you might have been sober for a long time or you got off of drugs years ago, they come across the post and they go, whoa, what's up with this person? It shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately it is. So I have no problems with people emailing me, and we can discuss things just via email. If you want to put things in the comment, that's fine, but it's totally up to you. But I would appreciate if somebody hits the like button and the subscribe button. That would mean a lot. But anyways, today we're going to go with 3 words, the letter D, and those 3 words are decision, determination, and discipline. Decision. Right? There comes a time that we all have to decide what the hell we're going to do once we realize where our life is heading because the way we're abusing alcohol or drugs. And it's a decision that we can't take lightly, because it will affect our future. And I know from past experience that when I didn't make the right decision or choice, you can those words flip around, but when I didn't make the right decision to either go get some help or just to stop drinking, my life progressively got worse. Now, I know that to be a fact for other people, because I've sat in enough AA rooms throughout the years early on, and I heard many people's stories, and they all said the same thing. They didn't make the right decision time and time and time again, and therefore their life just got out of control. Now, if you're listening to this channel because you're thinking about stopping drinking or drugging, man, that's great. So what I want you to do now is just decide that you're going to listen, okay? Go back, check out some of my other podcasts or episodes. I'm still trying to figure out what they call them here. And then, hit the subscribe button, and then check out some other posts I'll be putting up. I'll get a little bit more regular with my posts. It just takes me a little time to decide how I want to approach each episode, because I do want it to make sure that it has some valuable content for the people who take their time to listen to this channel. So if you're new, listen in. Now, if you've already have some sobriety, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You made a few decisions in your life to get sober and to stay sober, right? You made a decision when times got tough for you you just said, hey, I'm done with this, I'm going to go get some help, or maybe you just stopped drinking all on your own, which is great, but you decided to do something about it. So that's huge when it comes to somebody's, sobriety. You've got to make the decision that you've had enough of the craziness that comes our way when we put alcohol or drugs in us. Because seriously, it just keeps getting worse. We all know that. I have never met anybody who was drinking for a certain period of time and continued that ever told me that, yeah, shit got a lot better. It definitely got a lot better. I haven't found that. And maybe somebody out there knows somebody like that. And if you do, hey, have them contact me. I would love to hear their story. But for the most part, the people who keep making the decision to keep drinking and using end up, unfortunately, in a pretty tough situation. Sometimes when people make those decisions, they end up in a real tough position in life. And it's not one of those positions that we want to find ourselves in, right? All because of we put a freaking liquid in us, or we're putting some drugs in us to play with our minds, and now look where we're at. So it's key to make the right decision. And for a person who abuses alcohol or drugs, the right decision is to stop. Because remember what we say here on this channel, don't drink or use no matter what, and no matter what means no matter what. Let's go to determination. All right, once you make that decision to stop drinking, you got to be determined to follow it through. You have to do something daily, whatever it is, to make certain that you're not going to pick up for just that day. You got to be determined. When you wake up in the morning and you're contemplating, am I going to get through the day today without a drink or not? You have to be determined to, just for 24 hours, not pick up a drink or a drug. Okay? Just do it for the day. This is what I learned years ago when I first got sober, and this is what I tell people all the time if they want to stop. Just do it for a day. Anybody can do something for a day. We don't need alcohol to live. We don't need, I gotta be careful, we don't need drugs to live unless, of course, they're under doctor's supervision and you're taking them accordingly to what they prescribe for you. I'm talking about the drugs, that you're getting on the street, or even if it's from your doctor and you're just abusing them. That's not what I'm talking about. So you have to be determined to move forward and not put any alcohol or drugs in it for just one day. Just one day. Anybody can do it for just one day. Then the next day, what do? You get up, you repeat that. Now, early on, like I said, I went to AA. I didn't find anything wrong with it. I found some nice people there, got into some good conversations, actually got into a lot of weird conversations. I met some nice people, and I met some people, let's put it that way. But everybody was there. I would say, man, it was 50-50 of people who really wanted to stay sober, and the other 50 maybe were just there because they were thinking about it, or they weren't happy that they were sober, but they had to do it because maybe the courts or their family were pissed off at them. Maybe it's different. If you've been to AA, you might have found it to be a little bit more people wanting to stay sober than not. But for me, looking back, and it's been years since I went to a meeting, that it was kind of 50-50, because the 5 or 6 years that I went consistently, I saw a lot of people go through those doors. Man, a lot of people. Some stayed sober, some didn't. Unfortunately, some didn't make it. They went back out, ended up doing something that they shouldn't have done, ended up either in jail or, the worst case, they ended up passing. So, determination plays a big part, and part of that determination is when you get stuck and you're in a rut and you don't know what to do, there's only one thing you can do sometimes, is remember, you don't drink or use no matter what, and no matter what means no matter what. And then you pick up that phone, you make a phone call, I don't care to who, there's support groups out. You just go online and say you need to chat with somebody, or get yourself to a local AA meeting if there is one around. Check out if there's any churches in the area that hold any type of support group. There's plenty of people around that'll talk to you if you need it. Okay, so never give up, especially if you've got some time being sober, because here's the deal. I've always found it strange when people said they could never stay sober for long periods of time, but they did stay sober for a short period of time. So when they used to tell me that, I would just say, then, what did you do different when you were sober for that 1 month? What was it? And they would always say, well, I was in good, I was getting myself back into shape, but my marriage was doing well at that time, or maybe they were going to AA meetings or something. They were doing something positive, and then something changed. Maybe like the one person, their marriage started having problems. Well, your marriage isn't going to get any better if you pick up a drink, is it? So, it's always been strange for me when I hear people say that when they had some sobriety and they just decide to pick it up, and then once they pick up, they always say the same thing. Man, it never got easier. Man, life went right back to the way it was prior to them getting sober. I mean, sure, maybe the first few times they got drunk or high again, they felt like, yeah, this is where I belong, man. This is me. I got the old self back again. I'm out there mingling with people. I feel good. I feel really good. And then what happens? Shit hits the fan. So you've got to be determined to follow through with your decision to stay sober. And now the final one, it all goes hand in hand, of course, discipline. You have to be disciplined, because we can make the decision to stay sober. We can be determined to stay sober, but we got to stay sober. All right, so one thing is saying, all right, I'm determined, I'm going to do this. I'm definitely going to do this. I'm going to do it. And then something happens and you say to yourself, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. You can't. You've got to stay disciplined, especially early on. No matter what's going on, you know the saying, so I'm not going to say it, but no matter what's going on, you just have to pause for a moment, think things through. That takes discipline. If you're not reacting real quick, that takes a little discipline, right? Because normally, maybe if you're jacked up about something and your normal routine is go grab a beer or a drug, now it takes a little discipline to go, whoa, hold on. Let me just think this thing through. Let me think. Why am I feeling this way? I don't want to pick up. I'm determined not to pick up. Made my decision not to, so what do I have to do? Right? So that, again, that's where discipline comes in. Stay focused on not putting a drink in you, and then make a phone call. Go do something. Get out of whatever situation you're in. If you're home and shit hits the fan, be polite about it. Just excuse yourself from the situation. Get in your car, drive around. Go someplace. Go watch a movie or something. Give yourself a chance to think things through. Because part of discipline is, knowing what to do at one time. I played drums for a long time. Started drum lessons when I was 6, and I stopped lessons when I was 18. And still to this day, I'm 63 years old. I try to play at least an hour a day to keep, my, they call it my chops up. Make sure I can still, play well. But early on, and even you've got to be disciplined. There's certain things that I do almost every day when I play, like rudiments, or some type of practice pattern that keeps me fresh when it comes to my playing. So and that takes discipline. There's a few times years ago when I was taking drum lessons, I really didn't want to practice. I wanted to go outside with my friends, but my parents made sure I was disciplined to go down in the basement and practice. So sobriety does get easier when we practice at it, a little at a time. We just move forward. We don't think it's a big deal. We don't give a damn what other people say or think. We're just concerned. This is the one time I say that people should really be selfish. And that is, you have to worry about yourself and your sobriety. Because if you keep your sobriety in check, there's a good chance that everything else in your life will be okay. Not everything. My life's not perfect, but I just know that I would screw it up if I picked up a drink. So those are the 3 words for the ABCs of sobriety. We've got decision, determination, and discipline. This channel is going to be all for you guys. I'm fortunate. I have enough time in sobriety that I can keep moving forward, but I decided to put this channel together just to, help out any way I can. So I'm going to take off. I want to thank you once again. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button, and don't forget, this channel is all about your sobriety and mine. I'll see you real soon. Thank you.
Staying sober with Papa Joey. We're staying sober with Papa Joey. We're staying sober with Papa Joey. It's all about your sobriety.